everyone and welcome to my video. Today I'm making a box card out of a regular note card. It stands up on its own and it holds a message inside. So I'm starting with a regular powder blue note card and I'm just going to cut off a 1/4 inch off one of the edges. And next I'll start my scoring. And I use the Martha Stewart scoreboard. It's awesome because it goes every quarter or every 1/8 inch you can score. So if you notice, I'm going to score on the longer side. And I'm going to go ahead and score a 1/4 inch. And from there, I'm going to walk over and score 3/4 inch. This is the natural fold of the card. So I'm going to walk it over and score 3/4 inch. So the sides of the box will be 3/4 inch, and that gives it plenty to stand up. Okay, now I'm using my anti-static bag because I'm going to emboss, and I'm stamping on the wider side, the longer side of the card. So I'm using a brand new stamp from the Artist Proof supplement, and I'm using regular Versamark ink. And I always like to make sure I get good coverage, so I go back over a couple times. You probably noticed that with my stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and place that kind of close to the center fold of the card, which is the natural fold. Peel that off. And I always use a piece of folded paper under my embossing powder, and that's what I use as a funnel to get it back into the little jar. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on white embossing powder and tap it off. Oh, I missed a little at the top. Add a little more and just tap it off. And I have found it's best to go ahead and put your embossing powder away right away when you use it, and make sure you cap off your powder. I have knocked it over before with the cord from my embossing gun. So now I'm just going to heat set my powder using my heat tool. Okay, now I have an ornament stamp from a clear design set, and I'm using weathered wood ink. This is another one of my absolute favorite stamps. The weathered wood goes really well with the powder note card, and it just kind of blends in. It stamps dark in the beginning, and as you know, distress inks kind of lighten up once you've stamped. So I've stamped once, and I like to start at the bottom and move my way to the top. That I think it's easier to see where you're going as opposed to where you've been. And I'll go ahead and place the third image right on the top. What's fun about doing the embossing first is your first image still sits on top regardless. So now I'm just wiping up the excess ink with just a regular paper towel. And now I'm inking up my friend definition, which is the most used background stamp in my stamp room. And what I'm doing is just kind of dabbing the sides because I want a little bit of a distress look and not a perfect stamped edge. And I'm going to line this up to the very center of the card. Oh, there's my head with my morning hair. Sorry about that. I call this the CPR method when I stamp a big image because I like to give good pressure. And there we have it. It's a nice faint image of the friend definition. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole, and this will be for my message that I'm going to put in there. This is a 1.5 inch punch. And I did go ahead and punch on the little score line, so the circle is going to kind of hang around. So now I'm just going to go ahead and fold my scores. And it's going to look like that. So the beauty of this card is that you can mail it flat. And I'm just going to go ahead and add the adhesive to that little 1/4 inch scored area. And I can fold this over flat. Go ahead and give good pressure. You want to make sure that you seal this side pretty good. And so once I pop it back up, that's the box card. So what I've done is cut a piece of craft paper that's going to slide inside, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my message on the inside. I'm just going to use my pencil to give myself a little mark so I know where to stamp. And I'm using a new stamp, also from the Artist Proof. It's Just Me Thinking of You. And I've also used another stamp, and I like to have I call it a stabilizer, but it keeps me from rocking the stamp. So when I go to press it down, I get a good clean image. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up, make sure I'm on my pencil mark and right on the edge, and that I'm straight. Give it a little pressure, and there we have it. I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive around the corners so I can slide this in. Set it in place. All right, now I have my butterfly, and I'm using Memento black ink, getting really good coverage. I'm using Memento because I'm going to go ahead and use some Copic markers with my butterfly, and that's the best ink to use. I'm also going to be using a couple colored pencils, but I use clay, and I always use the fine tip, and this one's soft putty. So I'll start with the soft putty. It's a little lighter than the clay. The clay will be for the body and for the shadowing in between the body and the wings. So just go around in the areas, kind of random. I do like to use colored pencils with the Copics because I don't have that many Copics, and I can get all the detail I want. All right, so here's my butterfly. It's all colored, and I did use a little brown around the edges, and I've added brown quilting thread, and I'm just going to go ahead and add some more adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and stick this on my card. It's one of the final details. Straighten everything up and pop the butterfly up. I've also added a little hemp string. So that's my card. Here's the details up close. Thanks for joining me, and visit us at www.heroarts.com. Bye!